Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be with Sheila Kloefkorn of KEO Marketing, a Phoenix-based B2B marketing agency focused on strategy, messaging, digital infrastructure, execution, analytics, and fractional CMO services and growth for mid-market all the way up to Fortune 1000 companies. Sheila, thanks so much for joining us.
Seth, thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
So I started this agency in 2000, right during the dot-com bubble burst, a very innovative time, just like now. So we just had our 25th anniversary last September.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary. What were you doing before, and what did you see in the market that led you to build your own agency?
Yeah, I was running operations for a $100 million agency in New York, living in Phoenix and commuting. So this was my opportunity after that company sold to start my own company and to keep it a little bit smaller and to have a team and a set of clients that we really have done outsized results for, but also have a little bit of a life at the same time.
Understood. I would imagine a across the country commute could be a little challenging in 2000. That was, before everybody was on Zoom.
Yes.
Before we start on your agency, what did that experience teach you about understanding audiences?
Well, that agency was very focused on youth marketing. So I was in charge of building out the very first HD theater network in the world at college campuses. That's when an HD projector was the size of a table, as opposed to now we have it in our phones. And at that time, the web was just really starting. I used to have conversations about SEO and things like that. And people would say, "Do you think my customers are really on the internet?" It was just a very different time. But whether it was for that prior agency or for my own agency, what I know is that business owners are always looking for a way to connect with their audience, their own unique target market. And it's really important to be able to figure out who that is, what they care about, what their pains are, and then match that up with whatever solution that you're providing. And so even today, 25 years later, what happens most often, because we're a business to business marketing agency and we mostly help technology companies, construction companies, industrial companies, things like that, grow their business, is that if you go to a website for any of those companies, it usually says, "We do these 12 things." And when the visitor comes and looks at that, they go, "Oh gosh, well, I have these 2 needs and I don't really understand the acronyms on the website, but maybe it matches up with those 12 things that the website says." And what we know is that if you expect someone, your customer or prospective customer, to do that many mental gymnastics, they probably leave. So the foundation that I learned in that old agency, and that is still true today, is that if you can't meet your customer where they are, and if you don't really know what their needs are, you're not going to be able to serve them because they are self-focused and you've got to show up where they are, not where you have them show up where you are.
Absolutely. How did you make the pivot and the switch from youth marketing to business?
A lot of it is very similar. When I was doing youth marketing, we were representing companies who wanted to reach youth. So movie studios, uh, advertisers, those kinds of things. And they were selling into universities. That's no different than selling into a business. So a lot of the mechanics of how that kind of marketing works are the same, even though just in lots of our businesses today, it's B2B to B2C. It's very similar.
What are some of the most common issues that those B2B companies are coming to you to help solve?
Well, we've really built a model around solving sort of the silent challenge that most mid-market companies have. And that is, as a mid-market company, let's say you're between 10 and $100 million dollars, or maybe 10 to $50 million dollars. Typically, for a company of that size, the issue is just resources. How can they compete with their much larger competitors? And in those cases, most of the time, the CEO is doing double duty, doing marketing, providing strategy, things like that. So we offer a fractional CMO offering plus a team to augment the marketing team. Usually it's only a couple of people actually at a mid-market company of that size. And we can give them all the advantages of having a big marketing department and a senior level CMO without having the overhead of hiring those folks. And then, in addition to having a better model, they get better execution because they have specialist access to specialists with, 10, 15, 20 years of experience.
You talk about marketing activity versus having a real marketing strategy. What's the difference?
So I'll just give you an example. Occasionally I'll get calls from companies and they'll say, I need to be on X. And I'll say, why? Meaning they're very tactically focused. And someone on their team or a junior level marketer has said, we need to be on X or we need to be on Meta or something like that. But it's not grounded in a strategy, which is who are you trying to get in front of? Where do they hang out? What's the right message to be in front of those folks? And is Facebook or X even the right channel to be on to deliver that message? So that's the strategy conversation that needs to happen. And that typically resonates better with a CEO than having a conversation about why they should just be on X.
That makes sense. What are some of the most common marketing leadership gaps you see inside mid-market companies?
Well, mid-market companies typically are trying to achieve outsized marketing results with a very junior team, and they get mired in that tactical level of stuff, and they're just missing the strategic. Because if you have the strategic understanding of who you're trying to meet and what the right messaging can be, then all that tactical stuff works. So probably 90% of the mid-market CEOs I talk to, they've tried marketing and they think marketing doesn't work. And it's because not because the marketing itself didn't work, it's because the message or the strategy was off.
AI is changing how people find and discover companies. What should business to business leaders be paying attention to right now?
Absolutely. And it's changing it really fast. So just a few weeks ago, Google rolled out a complete change of their search engine. Everything that Google does now functions as a part of AI. So if you had an SEO strategy, for example, that helped you get found in search, if you haven't adjusted that strategy to answer the frequently asked questions that come in AI chat, you're probably not showing up in those AI chat results. You're not showing up in Chat GPT. You're not showing up in Claude. And so what we've done over the last 5 years is AIify everything that we do. It really is built on the same foundations of what worked for SEO for all these years or what worked for Google Ads for all these years. And it goes back to that strategy. Are you answering the same kinds of questions that your prospects have? And if your website does that and you have lots of frequently asked questions and it's coded correctly, you're going to show up in search and you're going to show up in AI chat. If you are running ads and you're leveraging, like we just took over a new client and they're still running display ads. Display ads are essentially going away at the end of this month. For 2 years, Google has been saying that display ads were going away. So if you're not leveraging their Performance Max ad formats, which is really an evolution of those display ads, then your ads aren't going to perform as well and you're going to be paying more. Uh, Click costs for Google went up 54% in March. And so what you have to do is get much better at ads today for your same spend to deliver the same results that you were getting prior to March.
Sounds like a lot more work to stay the same, let alone get ahead.
Yes.
You've written about reputation becoming part of the buyer journey before a prospect ever calls or fills out a form. How do you help companies manage that intentionally?
Again, it goes back to that strategy. You've got to have a strategy for what is your message? How do you add value? How do you add value better than everybody else? And then it's got to be everywhere. It's got to be on your website. It's got to be in your Google business profile. It's got to be in all of your socials. It's got to be in YouTube. And if you're not leveraging YouTube today, you're missing probably 40% of the opportunity out there. So you've got to have the right strategy, the right message that's going to resonate, and then you've got to build your reputation by delivering helpful educational value. So my master's degree is actually in education, and it's so powerful because that's what marketing is. We are educating others about how we help them. And the more that we help them buy from us, the more powerful that connection is, and the longer you're going to have that client long term. Then you ask yourself, where do people go to get educated? YouTube is the largest outlet on the web anywhere in the world for people to get educated. So if you're not in YouTube and if you don't have educational content, not salesy content, but educational content, you're not going to build a reputation as being someone who's going to consistently help them. If you do that and you can see lots and lots of examples, because you probably go to YouTube on your phone for every little thing that you need to figure out how to do, from how to fix your garage door to what kind of software system should I buy for my company. YouTube is really important, and YouTube is a bigger outlet than all the other streaming and television channels combined.
That is absolutely incredible. You've helped so many businesses over the last, 25, 26 years. What's your biggest challenge now?
Oh, I just think this is the best thing to be doing. I love this stuff more than anything. Our challenge is the same challenge it's been for 25 years. How do we help companies scale and grow faster and leverage the tools that are out there? So AI has great tools that are changing fast. So we leverage those. All the tools that uh, were just in its infancy 25 years ago have advanced a lot. So whether it's ads, I placed the very first ad on Go-To, which Yahoo bought, which gave Google the idea for Google AdWords. Um, it's all the same stuff. And if you're in a position like I am, that you love the change, you love figuring it out, solving problems every week, then this is a great thing. And I have a team that loves that too. And for companies that are just trying to figure it out, uh, get educated about it. Make sure that the agency that you're working with is about educating you and staying current and those kinds of things, because that's just the world that we live in today. And for all that adrenaline-filled stuff, it's so powerful to get the results. Like we have a client that had, a $2 million ad budget last year and came to us and said, we want you to take over, but we only have 1 million now. Can you get us the same or better results on half the budget? And we are really excited that 6 months in, we've absolutely done that. Like that's a really fun business challenge to solve.
Absolutely. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Oh, I love figuring out the problems every day. I love our team. I just get to work with amazing humans, and I really love our clients. Some people say, B2B marketing isn't sexy, but I think it's the most important thing we could do, because all this stuff is the stuff that actually runs the world. People say my stuff's in the cloud. Well, it's actually not. It's in a data center somewhere. And we've done incredible work for a variety of large data centers. People would say, we're in HVAC. HVAC isn't sexy, but if your house doesn't work or if your business doesn't work because your HVAC isn't working, then it's a problem. So we just love working with companies that really run the world.
Awesome. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable for our viewers and listeners who want to learn more. Where is the best place for them to go?
You can absolutely check us out in the socials, KEO Marketing or keomarketing.com. You can also see us in AI Chat.
All right. This has been Seth Greene with Sheila Kloefkorn of KEO Marketing. Sheila, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Seth. It was great, and really love your podcast, love having a chance to be on it. Thank you for helping so many people.
Our pleasure. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.